area, C-TREC captures three types of cancellations. One is all ASRA events. Okay, it'll capture the information. I'll show you a couple of these screens a little bit later on. It captures any storage violations that you have, and again, it gives you the information, sufficient information, so you can start debugging the problem without having to go to looking at a system dump to get all the information. I'll show you the information it captures for you on that. And it also captures SOS conditions. And the SOS conditions I mentioned, unless you specifically ask for a dump, you'll see the message comes out. You have a short on storage below the line or above the line, and you've recovered, and you can see it going back and forth, sort of thing when it occurs. Well, C-TREC will capture that information for you and tell you what tasks were in memory, how much storage each task was taking, and how much storage was being requested when the short on storage condition occurred, and what task was it that did that. Okay, so that's one of the things that you'll see with the event handler. Okay. In addition to that, C-TREC also provides the capability of looking at these exclusive control weights. As I mentioned, many occasions you find yourself, with a queue of a bunch of tasks waiting, but you say which one is the one that has the resource, or which one's the one that's causing the problem. And 90% of the time, what you do is you cancel the oldest one, and that normally relieves the problem. However, you only get one dump. You don't see what the other tasks were waiting on, or what conditions they were doing that caused that particular problem. Okay, so C-TREC will, again, you'll see that example, where you'll be able to see who the owner is and who the waiters are, and what they were requesting at that point. I'll show you that in one of the slides later on. And again, it gives you sufficient information so you can find out things that you can do to recover, from an SOS condition. Okay. C-TREC, basically, you can activate the transaction two ways. One is TREC with a K and TREC with a C. The difference between the two is that the TREC with a K just is a display only type transaction. The TREC with a C, you need authorization for it, or you should have authorization for it. Let's have your top secret Omegamon, not Omegamon, top secret or RACF to control, the action, because and you'll see what you can do with the TREC transaction a little bit later on. Okay, and again, it has an excellent documentation, so that you can also learn about internals about CICS by just looking at the documentation we provide. Okay. Okay. C-TREC also provides access to the information in memory. In other words, we can display the storage that you have below the line, above the line, and above the bar. We can, you can see, things in memory. It's a little bit, at least the performance monitors I've used, it's a little bit difficult to get some of this storage displays. But this is relatively simple, and it's pretty powerful in the sense that, it not only supports doing a search by ASCII, you can also do a search by IPSIDIC. It can, when you have to look through a table, you can set it up in such a way that every time you hit the enter key, it goes to the next entry, that you don't have to be there calculating the next address that you want to display. It also has the capability of having a hex calculator. So if you have a base register and a displacement, and you have the base register contents, and you want to add the displacement, you don't have to sit there in a calculator on your PC. You can go ahead right there and say, here's the displacement, add it to it, and go to see that sort of thing. So it has a pretty powerful sort of thing. It also allows you to alter storage of your CICS storage. I want to clarify that, because we decided many moons ago not to get into the operating system type storage. We just can modify just your CICS oriented storage, things within your program that you want to modify and test and so on. And again, that's the sort of thing that the thing has. Also, it has a table of your last 10 searches, so that if you hit like PF4, it'll give you the last 10 searches. You select the one you want, it takes you directly to that task, that area. And again, most of the displays, I'd say 99% of them have addresses in it. And those addresses, if you want to see the control block itself, uh, I don't know exactly why you would want to do that, but you can do that by just hitting PF5, putting the cursor on the address and hitting PF5.